It is Saturday morning, 7:34 and 30, 7:34 and 39 seconds and counting a.m. I'm using this new camera because I lost the one that came with the phone. It's actually still installed in the system, but I can't get the app buttons to show on the browser. So what I do, I download this new camera which shows me the time and the ISO and all this other stuff. 1/100th FPS 30. And the functions is very different. Like this little button here can bring me close. I got some other stuff here that I really can't use. But then again, I didn't make no video yesterday or the day before. Do I have burnout or wipeout? I've been drinking my Starbucks. I've been trying this and that here. Things are coming around that are quite depressing and also quite good at the same time. However, I did read this article about tipping. You know, I am a very good tipper. I don't over tip, but I tip a little bit more. So like if it's a bill that calls for maybe like the percent is like 20% at $6.95 tip, I'll give an extra 5-cent tip, or I'll make it even. So if it's $24.50, then more than likely I'm gonna make it $25. I do give exceptional tips, but this tipping thing got me thinking when it's talking about on a cruise ship, Carnival again. Carnival is in the picture again about tipping, how they tip. I'm reading what they're saying, but I understand what they're saying. You know, they do charge tips when you initially get to cruise. All the cruise lines do it. Sometimes people pay the tips at the end. And then also sometimes tips do go up every year. They give you a chance to pay the tip early because they're going to go up another dollar or another 50 cents or another 25 cents for tips. So, of course, I'm going to pay mine early with the whole bill. I'm not going to fool around with it. However, I tip at the end also because they talk about tipping. They talk about how much you give, not in the dollar figure, but how much you think you should give to the people who clean your room and everything. Now, mind you, these people know who you are because they get to know you because they have a certain amount of guests. And so they know who you are. They know when you wake up, when you sleep, etc. Most of them are pretty trustworthy so far that I've met. I think on a typical cruise, I don't mind telling you, if it's a 7-day cruise, it's anywhere between $50 and $100 tip. I'm sure people get way more than that. but it depends on your service. But I'm just talking about a customary tip. Now, if you're gone for 2 weeks, that's another story. Because normally when I give tips in a hotel, and sometimes I do forget, even if I stay for one night, because usually $5 a day, or I'll prorate it if I'm there for a few nights. But I do feel bad when I forget to tip, when I got the money to tip, that I leave, and hopefully they do get the tip. Now, one time I put a tip down in a hotel room. I really didn't put it down yet, but I put it there, and they took it. And I said, I didn't mean for them to take the tip right then and there. Wait till I leave the next day. I probably should have put it in an envelope and wrote on it. But most of the time, I don't see envelopes anymore. So when I leave, hopefully no one breaks into the room and grab a $5, $10, $15 tip that I leave there for the people who clean the room, okay? But I leave tips, and you got based it on $5 a day. Anywhere between $3 to $5. Now, if they don't clean the room, then more likely I won't leave a tip for that day. Well, theoretically speaking. However, if I'm just there a day and I know they clean the room and I leave, even if it's just for one day, I will leave a tip because I know that they have to clean the room for the next person, the next family that comes in. That's why I leave a tip. So tipping to me is not really a big deal, but it's a necessary function because a lot of times these people don't get paid that much. At least that's what they say, right? But it's easy to find out how much they get paid. So if you're a small-time traveler and you're looking at people who get paid about the same as you, I guess it could be a question of how much tip you give. But I think when you leave a tip, it shows how conscientious you are, how friendly you are, all those different types of things that come with tipping. You respect the service that they give. But sometimes, you really don't have to leave a tip then. But just like I said before, some people probably leave a tip per day. Now, I also read something about towels on the cruise ship. Carnival again, talking about towels on cruise ship. Well, how about Norwegian and Royal Caribbean, all these other places, talking about making those little figures when you travel, towel each morning to make your day go bright. So there was one country that really don't allow figure towels. I haven't figured that out yet, but it really doesn't matter. Boy, this camera really shows bright. I wonder if it's going to show bright when I finish. But I think on the last cruise, I really didn't see any towel figures. Towels that are formed into little animals and stuff like that. Things to make your day go by in a friendly note. When you come into your room in the evenings, you know that they made up your room and there's a little towel. It could be a bear, it could be an elephant, it could be a giraffe, I guess, a tiger, it could be any animal. So far I know most of them are animals. I have taken pictures of those towels. But I believe it is an art form that people take those kind of pictures. So I didn't think that there was a certain country that I'm trying to think of the name. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. If I think about it in another video, I might talk about it. But tipping to me is a big, big deal. I tip all the time. But I never talked extensively about the tipping I've done in past videos. I talked about tip, but not this. Crispy cheese toast. I let it get kind of cold. But I think you should tip. I don't think you should give less tips unless you accidentally feel that the service is so bad. But then again, maybe you should leave a note. Or maybe you should leave a note to them and tell them why you don't want to tip. Or maybe you should tell the people when you check out how the service is. Well, anyway, this is Robert Deschamps. Finally coming out with a video. My body's acting strange. Look like I got some sciatic pain. The weather is changing. I've been working a little overtime on my real job. So that's probably a factor why I feel like I'm burnt out. But I have a new term. Maybe I'm just wiped out. I got a lot of things to do, videotape. There's a lot of talking involved. Of course, I feel a little bad about not giving a video. But then sometimes I guess I do need a break. Maybe sometimes I should wait a couple of days and put together a whole bunch of stuff. Well, at least I put two things together. Unfortunately, both about Carnival. Of course, I did mention the ship that I travel most, Norwegian. And of course, I've only been on Royal Caribbean one time. Got a cruise coming up here soon, couple of months. I thought I can check in, but it's still too early. Your cruise could be paid for, but that does not mean that you can check in yet. If you ever take a cruise, you can find out. Everything has a time limit and a procedure because they want everyone to do it at the same time. There are steps to be taken. So whether your cruise is paid up or you add some things later, you can always add things on to your cruise. They always make adjustments whenever they change the itinerary, if you got any excursions. All that be taken care of. But just make sure you pay on it. Make sure you go in there and check to see if everything, because they do email you and text you and all those kind of things. You can always call if you're not sure about the website and buying stuff. I'm sure they're friendly enough to answer many of your questions. And this is Robert Deschamps. I'll talk to you on my next video. Just trying to get myself together. I'm just being real, as I always say. The name is Robert Deschamps. There's an RD component in there. Real deal. And after watching a whole bunch of other videos, I call them my training video. When I watch everybody's video, I just look at the style and I just try to cater to my own style by looking at everyone else's. And I'll see you in my next video, folks. Talk to you later. Maybe sooner than you'd expect. 2 days not doing anything. Feel like I'm burned out. No, not burned out. I just feel wiped out. I still got a big itinerary, but I can't do them fast enough. Talk to you later. Have a great day.